Hello my lovelies, welcome back to this fragrance channel. Today is the winter list. We are starting winter a bit early because, you know, as November starts, everything is just Christmas, and I thought, let me just do a winter's list because I've got quite a few favorites for winter, and I'll make quite a few lists because there's just so many good fragrances for this season. They are a bit sweeter, a bit cozier, often nutty, which is one of my favorite things to have in a fragrance. So let's go and get talking about the best perfumes ever. Let's start with the holy grail. Let's start with a safe bet of a fragrance. It is this one. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. It's Hypnotic Poison, Dior Eau de Toilette. It is a dream. This fragrance, guys, this fragrance, I could just sell all my fragrances and just have this one in my collection, and I would be very happy. This scent, it is wonderfully just almondy, vanilla, but this like play-doughy vanilla. It's soft, it's powdery, it's got this tiny spearmint opening, and I find it a bit smoky, and it's very like dark, vampy, mysterious. This is a delicious oriental vanilla. It is so mysterious, so seductive. It is just best served in the winter. It just sticks nicely to all your coats and scarves, and this is a fragrance that is opulent, but at the same time it's never too much, it's never nauseating. So I love this fragrance because if you are a fan of this sort of DNA and you want something for every single day, this is perfection for you, because often this DNA goes nuclear and you can't just get away with wearing it every single day to work. You know, we've got all different jobs, but this fragrance is perfection. It's a cult fragrance. It's the fragrance that started my love for fragrances, and I always will love it and have it in my collection, and you should definitely check it out. Next fragrance is a fragrance that is a bit of a guilty pleasure at the moment for me, because if you've been watching this channel for a year, you probably know I talk about Oud Satin Mood all the time from MFK. It just comes again and again because I absolutely love it, but I've been cheating on my Oud Satin Mood fragrances because I've got two, and I've been wearing this one a bit more. It's a similar vibe, but I love how much fresher this one is. It is Arabesque from Ormonde Jayne. I've been really getting into this brand recently, and this scent not only has got beautiful atomizer, I love a fine atomizer, but also this is a really nice saffron, blackcurrant, rosy oud. This fragrance, it's got that oud and rose concoction that is in Oud Satin Mood as well, but it's less sugary, much less sugary, a bit more uplifting and fresh, and I love that bitterness of blackcurrant and just that roundness of it. I find that this fragrance, it's still very long lasting and strong, so I get that fix like in my Oud Satin Mood fragrance. But this one in particular, it's not nuclear, so it's not too much for every day, because Oud Satin Mood, sometimes I have to be careful with sprays because it really is that strong. With this one, it's a very strong fragrance, but because maybe it's lighter, it's a bit on the fresher side, I find that it's much more wearable for every day while still giving you that lovely, just classy, oudy rose combination. It's absolutely divine. It's so beautiful. So if you're like me, if you like Oud Satin Mood, try Arabesque. It's phenomenal. Next one, let's go back to the designer, because you know that I'm not like a niche snob. I don't only go for niche fragrances. I like all fragrances. If something smells good, it just smells good to me. So I love my designer scents, especially for the winter time, because I'm not a freshy fragrance lover. And this the new C Intense, it's really good. I also love the newest C. They've released so many. The one in like a reddish transparent bottle, It's beautiful. I love that one as well. But I think I still prefer the dry down of the intense version of C just a little bit more. It's still got that bitter black currant leaves and black currant beautiful scent. But the vanilla in here, it's ambery, it's warm and spicy, and the dry down of this sillage, it just kills the other C versions for me. I've owned a few. I've owned the Passione version of it, a few different ones, I can't even remember, but the last one I owned was the C Passione, and this is so much better than C Passione. So if you are a C lover, try the new intense version. It is just phenomenal, especially for the winter. That dry down of that vanilla, heavenly. Next up, we've got a fragrance that I've been wearing quite a few times now. Already started with the Christmassy fragrances and warmer fragrances. This is fragrance du Bois Voyage à Paris, and this scent, it's such a fun one. It's so sugary, it's intense. It's to me, it doesn't necessarily smell like the notes. It's got like Davana and jasmine, and I do get that Davana especially. That is one of the notes that I do get. Davana to me makes the fragrance smell just foresty and like intense, almost like patchouli, but in a different direction a little bit, and I love it. It's also very honeyed, a bit boozy with rum. I get this really spikiness in here, and although this fragrance on paper seems more like a woody, just indulgent fragrance, I find this fragrance quite floral and feminine, but also really just woody and intense and Moorish. It's a juxtaposition of a fragrance. I absolutely love it. I think it's super unique, and it gives you, I think that Davana gives you almost like this rosemary, spearminty, that herbal scent. Often, like with herbs, you just smell them and you just want to smell more and more. They're so intense, you just want to put your face in it. This is this sort of scent that is in here. I just want to cover myself from head to toe in this. It's such a warming, nice, deep, a bit dark vibe sort of a fragrance. Such a good one. Try it out and you'll definitely smell very elegant, but also super unique. Following that theme of a bit of vampiness, bit of darkness, because after all in the winter we just get a little bit less sun. And to me, it's important in the fragrances to reflect that a little bit, because that gives me, you know, that warmth that I need, that a bit more of that positivity and sweetness in a fragrance when I'm like depressed and I don't want to go outside. This fragrance gives me that. It's Coco Noir from Chanel. I always gravitate towards this fragrance in the winter time because it's the darkest one, I would say, out of the Coco line. I also love the Ambre Juice, but this one in particular, I find that this is like a fragrance that like a stepmom, like a bit of an evil stepmom would wear. It's a bit cold and dark and distant, but at the same time it's like old money, pearls, very chic fragrance. I love it. I think it's one of those fragrances that you just put on and you feel confident. You're like, I don't care about any problems. I've got this. This is that sort of a fragrance. It's long lasting. It's got an amazing patchouli note, as like most Chanel fragrances, and it's just ambery and warm, a bit zesty with that orange zest. I just think that this fragrance is just classy. It's a fragrance that you just buy once and you can wear for the rest of your life. It'll never go out of style, and I just absolutely love it. Next fragrance is one that is super fun, and this one is Cacao Porcelana from Atelier Materi. I love the bottles. They're so different. I've got so many bottles, so I always appreciate bottles that are, you know, a bit different. And this fragrance, I find it so fun because it's got this dark cocoa, it's got this bit nutty patchouli, it's creamy, it's supposed to smell like tiramisu, and it definitely does. It smells like that, but better because it's in a high-end luxury fragrance form. I would say if you're expecting this fragrance to be super sweet and gourmand, don't. This fragrance, I would say it's very earthy, and the cocoa is not sweet. The whipped cream in the tiramisu, it's not overtly sweet. It's more of this like high-end 5-star dessert that is just delicious, but it's not sweet. It just is magnificent on the skin. It is gourmand without being gourmand, if that makes sense. It's edible, but in this way that is not just a sugar bomb, and I love it for that. And you can totally get this idea of tiramisu in the fragrance, such a modern take on a truly chocolatey scent. And yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. I'll try to link some samples to Cacao Porcelana, because even if you just want to get a sample, like, try this, because to me this is like an art of perfumery. This is something that you don't smell every day, and it's such a fun, like, a twist in a fragrance. So definitely at least try a sample of this, because it's just phenomenal. Next up, we had to put one of my favorites, Black Opium Illicit Green. I have to put it on this list because who knows, it'll probably be discontinued very soon, because they put out so many options of Black Opium, but this is my favorite to date. I love how nutty this is. If you like Black Opium, if you like that vanilla, that darkness, that coffee, but you also love nuttiness, this is so just yummy, delicious. It is everything you want in a fragrance. It's got just tons of character, tons of sass, I would say. And yeah, it's a very good designer one. Talking about nuttiness, another absolute nuttiness, scrumptious caramel dessert bomb. This is definitely gourmand, and it is set up from Moresque. This baby is divine, okay? If you're a gourmand lover, if you like your really edible gourmands with nuttiness, just praline, creaminess, just a bit of red fruitiness in here, oh my gosh, this is absolute heaven. It is a long-lasting fragrance, it's strong, and this will be a love at first sniff, I promise you, if you love gourmand fragrances. It was for me. Just sniffed it in Harvey Nichols and I was like, what is this? I have to have it. It's that sort of a fragrance, totally delicious. Another delicious fragrance. This one has got a bit of like this umami flavor. I always think of umami of that when Ross does this like unagi.
It's what the Japanese call unagi.
But this is not unagi, this is umami. This is Punk Romantique Valentino fragrance. And this is a dusty vanilla, but unlike you've ever smelled before. This is a dusty vanilla with a olive accord. It's salty, it's so realistic. This vanilla is very woody. It's so just soft and pleasant. It's a bit coconutty, it's a tiny bit irisy, I would say. It's just such a fun fragrance. I sprayed it a couple weeks back on my scarf and it lasted so long. Like, it just sticks to the clothes that you wear. This is perfect for this winter. If you like non-basic vanillas, if you really want something a bit different, bit modern, I love this. I have never smelled an olive note that is just everything. I love olives, by the way. Olives, like, they've got this just saltiness that it's just everything, and this has got that, but they made it into this beautiful fragrance form. Such a good one. Another just really unique fragrance for the winter time.
What the hell was that?
A lesson in the importance of unagi.
Another fragrance that is a unique, beautiful, warming scent for wintertime. It is Mandorle from Sora Dora. This fragrance, it's a beautiful cherry almondy scent that is a bit leathery, a bit animalic. It's dark, it's juicy. It's almost like you're just biting into this cherry, but you also have got this yogurt that has been flavored with cherry on the outside, and you get all of that. It's very just juicy and piercing and intense, and I love it for that. It's such a fun fragrance to wear. Even my husband was like, oh my gosh, I love when you wear this. So this is, I would say, more of this like proper sexy, juicy, just fun fragrance for the winter time. A real head turner, I would say. So try it out. I believe now they're available a little bit more worldwide because they're a bit more of a newer niche brand. So it's nice to, if you are somebody who knows so many fragrances and you want something unique and not so easily available, this brand is really good, especially this fragrance. They've got some really nice masculine fragrances as well that I love for my husband. Next one, we've got a fragrance that is a gourmand, but it's a light gourmand. So I always like to give you options, and this is for somebody who maybe loves freshies, or you really like just light florals, and then you find yourself in the winter and you think, oh no, like everybody's wearing ambery fragrances. I want a fragrance that is a bit sweeter, but I don't want to go that route. This is a fragrance for you. It's called A Divine Moon by Tory Burch. I personally, even though I love gourmands, I love this as well. It's a nice, lovely, light floral, but it's also got warmth to it, and it's got this really just gentle vanilla running through it. It's got quite an interesting, really piercing rhubarb note that is so fun and just gives it like that tart scent to the whole fragrance. And it's got just lovely honeyed, nice white florals. It's just beautiful. It's one of those fragrances that you'll get compliments for, that smells super feminine, that has got just the right touch of the sweetness in here. So if you are a freshie lover, if you want something a bit lighter for the winter time, I would highly encourage you to try out Divine Moon from Tory Burch. Let me know what you are currently wearing for winter, or what you're planning to maybe buy for the winter time. I would love to know, and I'll link all the fragrances in the description for you, and any samples, of course, if I can find them for you. And I'll love you all, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.